So this is our gallery space, which is new this year in 2022. For a long time, this was a museum space that held artifacts that were found around the property. All that stuff now lives with the Ohio History Connection up in Columbus. And so we turned this space into, it's a gift shop and a gallery, but also there's some history of the show in here, and I'll show you a couple of really interesting items that we feature in here. The first is this dress right here, which was made by Tecumseh's sister's great-great-granddaughter. Everything on that is hand-stitched. Even the fabric was handmade, and she also made the quilt that's at the bottom there. And their ancestors donated that to the theater about 20 years ago or so. Just to give an idea of, there is lineage from Tecumseh. We don't really talk about that in the show because it's very complicated. Sometimes people argue over it, over whether or not this person is that person's child, etc. So, there is lineage there. There are still living descendants. And so that's a really interesting piece. And then this piece over here was worn by the tribal chairman of the absentee Shawnee Nation of Oklahoma on opening night in 1973. Arthur Roulette was a direct descendant of Tecumseh, and was really the person who championed getting the show on the stage. Once the local businessmen went and met with him out in Oklahoma, he championed this show quite a bit. So he was here on opening night, he blessed the stage, and this is the outfit that he wore that night. Some years later, when this building was constructed, the pavilion as we call it, it was named for Arthur, who had passed away just the year before. And we still have a great relationship with him. I go out in December pretty much every year and get to meet with the folks out in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Over here, we have some of the more recent awards that's been given to the Scioto Society, which is the nonprofit that produces Tecumseh, as well as some personal artifacts from Alan W. Ecker, who wrote the show. So his hunting knife is down there, and a couple other pieces of memorabilia. And then this piece right here is called the Ghost Tree. When the show opened, there was a set piece right in the middle of the theater, which was a real living tree that they built the set around. And at the end of the show, it was an important set piece because it was kind of lit from the bottom to kind of give the image of hope for the future, and they called it the Ghost Tree. Unfortunately, the tree died a couple of years later, but it's still very much in the minds of the alumni who have been in the show. And so a couple of years ago, some alumni got together and decided it would be a lovely thing to create a memorial for alumni who have passed away over the years. And so they hired this artist who created the Ghost Tree, and when an alumni passes away, we put a heart on there with their names and the years that they were in the show. And this year, since we have the gallery space available, then we also added this book, which tells a little bit about each person who's on the Ghost Tree, what they did in the show, and other facts about their lives. So we just had our alumni reunion last weekend for the 50th anniversary, and it was a really lovely thing to be able to show that off to the alumni. And then these over here, on this wall, these are all original paintings that were done for our program covers over the years. Bob Ray, who created the very first Tecumseh cover in 1973. All of the other artifacts that are in the gallery are handmade Native American works of art, so a lot of tomahawks and things like that. These aren't replicas, these are modern day works of art that are created specifically to sell in gift shops like ours. And we're really proud to have a space that's outside the regular gift shop to really feature Native American artists and honor the work that they do and the spirit with which they carry on what we're doing on the stage. So this is our gallery.